Nature makes no room for weakness. Every day is a battle for survival. The hunter is always waiting for one mistake. And death has never been far away. Welcome to Nature Moments, where we explore the greatest mysteries of the natural world. (109°F). Dried grass burns yellow all the way to the horizon, trembling beneath heat waves like an ocean boiling away. The East African sun does not shine, it presses down, heavy, blinding white, without mercy. This is the Serengeti, the largest open-air arena on the planet, where there are no walls, no caves, no shadows to shelter behind. "30,000 square miles of grassland stretching from the foot of Kilimanjaro to the shores of Lake Victoria, a vast golden carpet where every blade of grass is soaked in blood." Here, prey can see death approaching from over a mile away, and death can see them too. Nothing is hidden, no one is spared. Because right in the heart of this scorching arena, a ruthless chain of power operates from the panicked leap of the smallest prey to the sky-splitting roar of the one who sits on the throne. At the lowest tier, impalas live every second as though it were their last. Weighing 90 to 140 pounds, their sleek, reddish-brown coats gleaming under the sun, impalas are biological sculptures engineered for one single purpose: escaping death. Their leaps reach 33 feet in length and 10 feet in height, a perfect parabola slicing through the hot air. When one leaps, the entire herd erupts, 20, 30, 50 bodies launching simultaneously like fireworks made of bone and muscle. A predator's eyes cannot lock onto a target when 50 targets take flight at once. Chaos by design. But chaos is not always enough, because the creature chasing them is the most perfect speed machine that 4 billion years of evolution has ever built. The cheetah. Weighing just 80 to 140 pounds lighter than every other big cat, because every excess ounce is a fraction of a second lost. Its spine curves like a drawn bow, stretching and contracting with every stride, extending each step to 23 feet, from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 3 flat seconds. Faster than any supercar ever manufactured. Semi-retractable claws dig into the ground like sprinting spikes. A long flat tail pivots mid-stride at top speed. Every detail on its body serves a single word: faster. But speed demands a brutal price. After every chase, the cheetah's body temperature rockets to 106 degrees Fahrenheit, the threshold where brain cells begin to die. 15 seconds, that is the entire time budget the cheetah is allowed to spend. If the prey is still running after 15 seconds, the cheetah must stop, lie panting under the sun, and accept empty-handed defeat. Success rate: just 4 to 5 out of every 10 attempts. The fastest on the planet, yet also the most fragile among the big cats. Pure speed is never enough when you lack the strength to keep what you have won. But not every creature chooses to run. Some choose to stand and turn their own bodies into weapons. The ostrich, the largest bird on Earth, weighing up to 300 pounds, too heavy to fly, but far from helpless, muscular legs deliver kicks with enough force to crush a lion's skull and reach speeds of 43 miles per hour on the ground, faster than any land bird alive. The largest eyes of any land animal, about 2 inches in diameter, scan the savanna and detect enemies from nearly 2 miles away when they are still mere specks on the horizon. Males defend their nests with primal fury, spreading wings spanning 6.5 feet, charging headlong into intruders. In the savanna's chain of fear, the ostrich proves you do not need to fly to dominate. You just need to be too large, too fast, too dangerous for anyone to dare underestimate. Then comes the river of life, the wildebeest. Over 1.5 million migrate every year, tracing a circle of nearly 2,000 miles through the Serengeti and the Masai Mara, the greatest overland march still remaining on Earth. Weighing 260 to nearly 600 pounds, they move like a black ocean hooves, pounding dust into the sky, the thundering rhythm rumbling underground like war drums of an army with no general. Strength lies in sheer numbers. One wildebeest is a meal. 1.5 million is a catastrophe for anyone foolish enough to charge into the current. But within that river, there is always the weakest, the aged, the young, the sick falling behind. And that is all the one at the top needs. The lioness, the true hunter of the savannah. Weighing 260 to 400 pounds, smaller than the male but faster, more precise, and more ruthless in every hunting maneuver. They never hunt alone, 2, 3, sometimes 6, forming tactical formations like a special operations unit across the grasslands. One group flushes the wildebeest herd from the front, forcing the stampede. Another flanks from both sides, closing the distance. The pounce targets the prey's flank, pulling it down, pinning it, clamping onto the throat, squeezing until the chest stops rising. But the African savannah is not the only place where evolution has carved a chain of fear. Nearly 9,000 miles away, on the other side of the Atlantic, another furnace burns where the chain of power does not operate under blinding light, but hides in darkness, crawls underground, and whispers in absolute silence. Ground temperature hits 177 degrees Fahrenheit. Air rises like steam off a red-hot skillet, bending the horizon into trembling ripples. This is the Sonoran Desert, the largest furnace in North America, over 100,000 square miles of sand, rock, and cactus, stretching from Arizona through California, cutting across Mexico. Nothing survives here. At least, that is what everyone thinks. Because the Sonoran is nature's greatest paradox, the hottest desert in North America, yet also the wettest, receiving rain in 2 seasons, generating biodiversity that no other arid landscape can match. Over 2,000 plant species root themselves in the parched earth. "350 bird species tear through the scorching sky. "60 mammal species prowl in the darkness. More than 100 reptile species slide across the burning sand. But biodiversity also means more prey. and more predators wanting to eat them. In the hottest desert on the planet, what is more terrifying, the heat or the one standing atop the food chain? The answer begins at the bottom, at the lowest tier. At the base of the food chain, one creature lives every day as though it were its last. The desert cottontail. Weighing barely 3 pounds, measuring about 15 inches long, a mobile meal for nearly every predator in the Sonoran. Enormous ears making up 14% of its body size, not for better hearing, but for survival. A dense network of capillaries inside the ears dilates under the heat, radiating body warmth outward. A perfect biological cooling system. Without this mechanism, the blood would boil from within. At dawn and dusk, when temperatures drop just enough, the cottontail leaves its shelter. It moves by hopping from shadow to shadow, shadow hopping as though the ground between two patches of shade were lava. Every hop is a life or death calculation. The distance between two shadows, the angle of the sun, the direction of wind carrying enemy scent. Everything eats the desert cottontail, but not everything dares to touch the creature that comes next. The horned lizard, tiny, slow, and looking like a rock with legs. A thorny armor coating its body turns it into a meal that is hard to swallow in the most literal sense. Any predator that tries to gulp down a horned lizard faces dozens of spines jabbing into the roof of its throat. Coloring blends into rock and sand. Thorny armor transforms its body into a fortress. But that is only the first line of defense. When cornered, the horned lizard activates a weapon that no other reptile on the planet possesses. It shoots blood from the corners of its eyes, up to 5 feet. The blood contains a bitter compound that makes coyotes, foxes, and even snakes spit it out and walk away. The most fearsome biological weapon in the desert does not come from fangs or claws, but from the eyes. In the Sonoran chain of fear, the horned lizard proves a principle. Defense is the currency of survival. No need for speed, no need for size. Just be horrifying enough that no one wants to try. But one creature goes even further. It does not defend with blood or thorns. It defends with other creatures' fear. The burrowing owl, the only owl in the Sonoran that lives underground. Averaging about 6 ounces with a wingspan of 20 to 24 inches, the burrowing owl is smaller than a soda can. But do not underestimate it. Unlike every other owl species, the burrowing owl hunts during the day insects, small mice, lizards, anything that fits its beak. Abnormally long legs allow it to run across the ground, a terrestrial hunter in the form of a bird that belongs to the sky. The burrowing owl does not dig burrows, it steals them. Old dens of prairie dogs, desert tortoises, badgers any hole deep enough. And when an enemy approaches the burrow entrance, the burrowing owl produces a sound that makes every desert creature freeze solid. The rattle of a rattlesnake. Not a real rattlesnake, but the burrowing owl perfectly mimicking the hiss of the desert's most feared killer. In the darkness of the burrow, no intruder dares take the risk. "6 ounces, no venomous fangs, no thorny armor, but the burrowing owl has turned fear itself into a weapon." In the chain of fear, the burrowing owl understands something that few species ever grasp sometimes. Pretending to be terrifying is more effective than actually being terrifying. But mimicking a rattlesnake only works when the real thing is not nearby. And in the Sonoran Desert, the rattlesnake is always nearby. From this tier upward, the line between hunter and hunted blurs. Every creature is both the terror of those below and the potential meal of those above. The coyote, the greatest opportunist in the Sonoran Desert. In the Sonoran, coyotes are smaller than their northern cousins, just 25 to 30 pounds. Their grayish-brown coats thinner to shed heat. But smaller size does not mean smaller ambition. Coyotes eat everything: cactus fruit when hungry, rabbits when they find them, lizards when convenient, carrion when no other option remains. Opportunism elevated to an art form. When hunting small prey, the coyote works alone, stealthy, patient, then exploding in a burst, reaching 40 miles per hour. It lurks behind a creosote bush, both ears rotating like radar, nose sweeping the wind. When a cottontail appears 30 feet away, the coyote becomes an arrow. But on the rocky slopes, the coyote loses. Desert bighorn sheep climb at 15 miles per hour, up near vertical cliff faces where no coyote can follow. When the target on the flatlands is larger, they switch to pack tactics. That is where the hunter must constantly look over its shoulder. Before meeting the creature that stands above the coyote, meet the one that proves in the Sonoran. Every predator is somebody else's prey. The greater roadrunner, the fastest running bird in the world that can still fly. weighing up to about 19 ounces with zygodactyl feet, 2 toes forward, 2 toes back, an evolutionary paradox. A bird with wings that chooses to run. "26 miles per hour on the ground, faster than any other running bird that still retains the ability to take flight." It hunts insects, lizards, mice, and snakes. The showdown between the greater roadrunner and the rattlesnake is one of the most iconic battles in the natural world. The roadrunner does not attack head-on. It provokes, fanning its wings, hopping back and forth, forcing the rattlesnake to strike first. "3 minutes, 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. A war of attrition that the roadrunner always wins because it possesses something the rattlesnake does not: endurance. When the rattlesnake is exhausted, the roadrunner delivers its finishing blow, a precision strike to the head, clamping down and smashing the snake against the rocks until the skull shatters. Speed defeats venom. Technique defeats brute force. But the roadrunner is not invincible. Hawks, eagles, owls, and the coyote itself all consider it a meal. The rattlesnake killer still has to flee the sky. In the chain of fear, the roadrunner proves a harsh truth: there is no such thing as a pure predator. Every attacker is someone else's target. But if speed and technique are the roadrunner's weapons, the next creature chooses an entirely different path. It does not need to be fast, does not need to be agile. It only needs a single drop. The Gila monster, the largest lizard native to the United States, and one of only 2 venomous lizard species in North America. weighing 3 to 5 pounds, measuring up to 22 inches long, a stocky body covered in orange and black beaded patterns. Aposematic warning, coloration, nature's signal that says, "Do not touch me." The Gila monster moves at the pace of a creature that does not need to hurry. Because when you possess venom, haste is unnecessary. Its venom delivery system is entirely different from a snake's. Venom glands sit in the lower jaw, secreting toxin into grooves along the teeth. Venom flows upward by capillary action, and the Gila monster must chew to pump more venom into the wound. That is why it does not let go. Once it bites, it holds tight and chews sometimes for minutes to ensure enough venom soaks in. A thick tail stores massive fat reserves, allowing it to consume a third of its body weight in a single meal and then fast for weeks. Its metabolism is so slow that the Gila monster needs only 3 to 4 large meals per year. The rest of the time, it simply exists. In the chain of fear, the Gila monster is living proof: no speed needed, no size needed, no pack needed. Venom is the great equalizer of the natural world. If you too are captivated by the hidden chain of power in the Sonoran Desert, leave your thoughts in the comments below. But the Gila monster, as fearsome as it is, still moves in daylight, where everything can see it coming. The next creature gives no one that chance. It does not move. It waits. And when the victim comes close enough, everything ends in a quarter of a second. The western diamondback rattlesnake, the invisible assassin of the Sonoran Desert. Diamond patterns along its back blend flawlessly into rock and sand camouflage, so effective that victims often step on it before they realize. A triangular head, vertical elliptical pupils, and an organ that no other reptile in this desert possesses. Heat-sensing pits positioned between the eyes and nostrils, these two small cavities detect temperature differences as slight as 0.02 of a degree Fahrenheit. The rattlesnake's strategy is a masterpiece of patience. Ambush at trail edges or rodent burrow entrances. Lie motionless for hours, for days if necessary. When the prey comes close enough, the strike erupts in under a quarter of a second. Fangs pierce flesh, venom pumps in, then immediate withdrawal. No holding on, no wrestling. Let the venom do its work. Strike, retreat, track, swallow. No wasted energy, no unnecessary risk. Every bite is an investment, and the rattlesnake never invests at a loss. And the rattle, that keratin appendage producing the iconic sound, is not a weapon. It is the final warning. In the Sonoran chain of fear, the rattlesnake is fear made audible. The rattle is the sound of death. The thing that makes every creature freeze, every footstep halt, every instinct scream a single word: run. But the rattlesnake's sound, however haunting, is merely a whisper compared to the absolute silence of the one we are about to meet. Because in the Sonoran Desert, where the rattlesnake warns, the coyote howls, and the burrowing owl hisses, true power makes no sound at all. It arrives in silence, and by the time the victim hears it, it is already too late. But before meeting that silent one, meet the creatures. It hunts the largest, most valuable, and most dangerous targets in the Sonoran Desert. The mule deer, the largest prey moving across the Sonoran floor. A mature buck weighs 150 to 300 pounds, an enormous package of protein wrapped in 4 long legs and ears that span 3/4 the length of its head. Those enormous ears, the same heat-dissipating principle as the cottontails, but at 10 times the scale rotate continuously, sweeping sound from every direction. Mule deer are browsers mesquite, jojoba, cactus pads drifting slowly through scrubland and rocky slopes with the footsteps of a creature that knows it is being watched. Because the mule deer is always being watched. When pursued, the mule deer does not run like a rabbit. It stots a bounding gait, where all 4 legs leave the ground simultaneously and land at the same time. Stotting allows the mule deer to reach 45 miles per hour over rough, rocky terrain, where any animal running normally would shatter a leg. Broad hooves grip desert rock. Every bound is a perfect physics calculation, angle of impact, force of launch, landing point. In the chain of fear, the mule deer is the grand prize, too heavy to ignore, too fast to catch easily, too valuable for the one at the top to overlook. But the mule deer is not the only ungulate in the Sonoran Desert. The desert bighorn sheep lord of the cliff faces. A mature ram weighs 110 to over 220 pounds. Curling horns weigh up to 30 to 40 pounds, nearly the weight of a full-grown coyote. split hooves with a hard outer rim and a soft inner pad like natural climbing shoes allow the bighorn to cling to cliff faces that no predator dares follow. They leap across crevasses 7 feet wide, twisting mid-air to land on ledges only inches across. Gravity is their ally and the enemy of anyone who gives chase. Speed on flat ground, 30 miles per hour. Speed on mountain slopes, 15 miles per hour. But on the mountainside, 15 miles per hour is unbeatable. In the chain of fear, the desert bighorn chooses the vertical where the rules of the desert do not apply, where gravity replaces fangs and claws as the line of defense. And now we arrive at the summit. The mountain lion, puma, cougar, panther. 4 names for the same creature, the one who holds the silent throne of the Sonoran Desert. A mature male weighs up to 220 pounds. Amber-green eyes sweep through darkness with vision 6 times sharper than a human's. And it makes no sound at all. In a desert where the rattlesnake warns with its rattle, the coyote declares territory with its howl, and the burrowing owl fakes a hiss, one creature chooses silence. The mountain lion, the only creature that produces no sound whatsoever. Because it does not need to warn anyone. Mating follows no fixed season. Male and female meet briefly, then part ways. Gestation lasts 82 to 96 days. The female raises her cubs alone, just like the cottontail at the bottom of the chain. The summit and the base of the chain of fear, sharing the same burden, raising young in solitude. But there is one difference. The cottontail fears everything. The mountain lion fears nothing. In the chain of fear of the Sonoran Desert, every creature exists at the mountain lion's discretion. Every footstep on the sand, every sound in the night, every breath under the midday sun, all fall within range of a single leap. And the final lesson of the chain of fear: in a desert where the rattlesnake warns, the coyote howls, the burrowing owl hisses, true power is silence. The mountain lion never roars before it strikes, never warns, never negotiates. Silence. That is the sound of the summit. But the chain of fear from the African Savannah to the Sonoran Desert, no matter how merciless, now faces a new predator. This one has no fangs, no venom, no claws, but it destroys faster than any species that has ever existed. The mountain lion, the apex of the chain of fear, is being hunted by guns, by traps, by retribution from ranchers who have lost livestock. By trophy hunters paying thousands of dollars for a hide. The Gila monster, the lizard with the desert's most fearsome venom, is listed as a threatened species. Stigma turns it into a target for killing. The exotic pet trade turns it into merchandise. The mule deer, the greatest prize in the food chain, is being severed from its migration corridors by fences, highways, and new housing developments. Paths their ancestors walked for thousands of years are now blocked by concrete. Urbanization devours the desert. Phoenix, Tucson, and dozens of other cities spread like oil stains across the sand. Every year, thousands more acres of desert become parking lots and golf courses. Climate change pushes temperatures higher, rainfall more erratic. The wettest desert on Earth is growing drier. And the creatures that evolved over millions of years to live on the razor's edge between life and death suddenly find that edge shifting. The chain of fear from the Serengeti to the Sonoran has operated for thousands of millennia. On the wild African savannah, there is no room for compassion or chance. Each day is an epic of survival, written by the sun, the wind, and the unforgiving hunt. The warthog, one of the few creatures that truly thrives in the 104-degree Fahrenheit heat. Their bodies lack sweat glands, so they seek out mud as a natural spa therapy, both to cool down and to protect their skin from parasites. This is a sounder of warthogs, formed by resilient mothers and their future generations. This social bond is their first line of defense. Their homes are old burrows, often abandoned by aardvarks. A natural architecture with a biological air conditioning system that helps maintain a stable body temperature amidst the scorching heat. In the wild, innocence is a death sentence. The leopard, a solitary hunter, is a master of the art of stealth. Its coat, with its exquisite rosettes, allows it to merge perfectly with the savanna's dry, withered vegetation. It approaches in absolute silence, every muscle coiled like a compressed spring, and its padded paws allow it to move without making the slightest sound. Its target is a warthog, an abundant source of energy and protein. The dry season causes the prey's distinct scent to travel farther, guiding the hunter The leopard knows it has only one chance. The attack must target the nape of the neck, the fatal weak point where the spinal cord meets the skull. A single, precise, and powerful bite will end the struggle quickly. If it attacks the body or legs, the warthog can still fight back. Its tusks, though short, are as sharp as daggers and are not for show. The lower tusks, constantly sharpened against the upper pair, form a lethal weapon, ready for a defensive thrust that can tear through an enemy's flesh. The hunt begins. The leopard lunges, and after a brief but intense chase, it delivers the decisive bite. The struggle is over almost instantly. But the hunt is not yet finished. The scent of fresh blood quickly attracts other opportunists. The branches become an aerial larder, a safe place that few other predators can reach. Here, among the leaves, the leopard can finally enjoy the rewards of a perfect hunt, a testament to its power, patience, and masterful skill. But is the warthog truly a helpless prey? This pack of African wild dogs will give us the answer. They are the marathon runners of the savannah, and their hunting success rate of up to 80% is the highest among Africa's predators. And that reputation is not an empty boast. Even as a pack, they hesitate before those sharp tusks. The warthog knows that the dry season and the midday sun are a predator's weaknesses. Its breathing is still ragged, but within it lies a resilient pride. It has survived to fight another day. The dry season is tightening its grip on the savannah. The grasses wither. The water holes are shrinking. Yet the warthog seems to defy this rule. They use their snouts and tusks to dig, searching for roots, dried tubers, and withered grass food sources that many other species ignore. They can also endure many days without water, reducing activity at midday to conserve energy. But today, it has reached its limit. This waterhole is either a savior or a deadly trap where predators lie in wait. Few predators dare to risk hunting by day, but the cheetah is different. It was born for speed and sunlight. The black tear-like streaks under their eyes not only absorb the glaring light, but also help them focus on a moving target with high precision, much like the black stripes athletes wear under their eyes. The Ferrari of the natural world is on the move. Its lightweight skeleton, flexible spine, and enormous lungs are all designed for a single purpose: explosive speed. Hunger quickly returns after the brief meal, forcing the cheetah to hunt again. Speed comes at the cost of energy, and it must constantly refuel. But the warthog mother is now hardened by loss. She will not lose another of her young. The cheetah is exhausted, its body is overheating. After a short chase, its body temperature can rise to dangerous levels. Only water can save it now, but the dry riverbed offers no mercy. Family ties have their limits. At 2 years of age, young male warthogs are driven from the sounder. This prevents inbreeding and forces them to seek their The dry season in the southern Serengeti is still a fertile sanctuary. From the north, millions of wildebeest and zebra are undertaking the Great Migration. They journey relentlessly, following the rains and the green pastures. But it is not just food that awaits them. The thunder of hooves has awakened the proud rulers. The lions are ready. The harsh dry season is an advantage, helping them conceal themselves perfectly in the yellowed vegetation. A single male lion can consume up to 88 pounds of meat in one sitting. So small, isolated prey is never enough for the whole pride. The lions begin to set a trap based on their age-old knowledge of the terrain. While the powerful males stay behind to protect the territory, the lionesses are the elite hunters. They coordinate with the precision of a true army, targeting the dense herds of zebra. However, the savannah holds another formidable opponent, the African buffalo. A lion's feast does not always go as planned. The spotted hyena. Do not call them cowardly thieves that live only on carrion. That would be an insult, as 90% of their food comes from their own hunts, thanks to their endurance and bone-crushing jaws. The other 10% is today's case. This frenzied mob, with its characteristic chilling laugh, knows no fear. The lowly subjects robbing the king. But arrogance is always the sweetest poison before the fall. Hyenas may intimidate a queen, but against the true king, any who dare claim victory are both foolish and proud. For a male lion, kingship is not a gift. It must be earned through blood. The tragedy begins within the family itself. At the age of 3, young males are driven into a life of exile by their own father. Cast out, they wander through unclaimed lands where survival is the only lesson. It is in this crucible of hardship that brotherly coalitions are forged. And then, stronger, more ruthless, they return. Not for a reunion, but for an overthrow. The battle for the throne is a lightning storm. The lion is a sprinter, not a marathon runner. Its body is designed for a devastating burst of power, not a prolonged fight. Every second counts. If the first attack fails, energy is depleted. The body overheats. The victor takes all. The loser, if he survives, vanishes into the shadows. The savannah has a new king. But the crown is never worn in peace. Because here, the cycle of power is eternal. From the other side, the warthog has realized that the pride has reached the limits of its exhaustion and disunity. Appearing in the open before the starving predators is just the first step in its plan. A series of secret escapes, burrows known only to it, is the real key. The tactic of misdirection has been activated. This is not a suicidal act, but pure provocation, a battle of wits. A lion's speed always surpasses a warthog's, but look at the sun. The midday heat is draining the hunter's strength. What we see now is more helplessness and confusion than anger. Panting, exhausted. That is the image of the tyrants now. The news will soon travel on the wind. Today, the uncrowned kings have become a laughingstock in this arid, unforgiving land. Even those who lurk beneath the water, like the hippopotamus, have heard of this humiliation. That has truly infuriated the lion. Even while drinking, it cannot escape the provocations of an unexpected rival. But the hippopotamus has never been one to be trifled with. They may seem placid, but they are among the most dangerous and aggressive animals in Africa. The lion's attitude has been noted by the giant. And the hippopotamus is intelligent enough to know where the lion's weakness lies. In the water, its territory. Just by approaching the water's edge, everything could collapse. No creature can survive without water, and now that life source is controlled by a formidable adversary. The lions, once again, retreat in silence, awaiting a day of revenge. This time, it will require more patience and strategy. Sometimes, nature softens with gentle rains and cool waters, and fortunes change once more. In other parts of Africa, creation has bestowed life upon those who are worthy. The Chobe River, a ribbon of blue winding through arid lands, is the lifeblood of an entire region. This is the kingdom of the African elephant, with the highest density on the continent. These giants stand up to 10 feet tall and weigh 6.5 tons, yet they move with a remarkable serenity. Every part of their body is a masterpiece of adaptation. Their enormous ears are a sophisticated cooling system. The trunk, with over 40,000 muscle bundles, is an incredibly versatile tool, powerful enough to fell a tree, yet delicate enough to pick a single berry. And their tusks are keys to survival, used to dig for water or strip bark from trees. But their true strength lies in their bonds. Each herd is a complex matriarchal society led by a wise older female. Her phenomenal memory guides the herd along ancient trails to water, knowledge passed down through generations. They communicate using infrasonic sounds that humans cannot hear, vibrations that travel through the ground, connecting them across miles. By shaping the landscape, they act as the ecological engineers of this land. Yet, their future is fragile. With a gestation period of nearly 2 years, their rate of reproduction is incredibly slow. This fact, along with other threats, has placed this magnificent species on the near-threatened list. The African buffalo is also present, a silent warrior of steadfast build and calm strength. They are a symbol of Africa's resilience. Mature males are distinguished by horns that can span over 3 feet, with a base in the middle of the forehead as hard as concrete, known as a boss. This structure is both a protective shield and a symbol of authority in confrontations. However, behind that robust exterior lies a precisely organized society. Large herds can exceed 1,000 individuals, led by experienced females. Though weighing nearly 2,000 pounds, they swim with the skill of professional athletes. The Chobe River is not a barrier, but a corridor of life. Each day, a buffalo can drink up to 9 gallons of water, making this an essential point of recovery. Within the herd, when a decision on direction is needed, buffalo do not command with sound. They simply vote. Each female will stand and look in the direction she wishes to go. When a majority agrees, the entire herd moves as one. A silent but remarkably precise and effective form of democracy. In contrast to the majestic build of the buffalo, the spotted hyena is much smaller, yet it is a formidable presence and one of Africa's most intelligent animals. With powerful jaws and a bite force of 1,000 pounds stronger than a lion's, it can crush bones 2 inches thick to extract every nutrient. Its digestive system is so efficient it can process both bone and hoof, utilizing almost the entire carcass of its prey. Stamina is another advantage. They can maintain a speed of 6 miles per hour for hours on end to exhaust their prey. When necessary, they can accelerate to 37 miles per hour. Spotted hyenas live in close-knit, matriarchal clans that can number up to 80 individuals. A lead female, the matriarch, governs the group, defining a social structure in which females are absolutely dominant. Hyenas work together, employing clever strategies to take down wildebeest, zebra, and even buffalo calves. Their communication is distinctive. They emit calls that sound like laughter when stressed or excited, along with 11 other types of vocalizations. This species' flexible intelligence in cooperation and problem-solving is comparable to that of some primates. High above, silent figures also glide across the sky, nature's undertakers, sharing a common destiny. The marabou stork, with its slate-grey plumage and strange appearance, is nicknamed the Undertaker bird. Standing up to 5 feet tall and weighing up to 20 pounds, the marabou is one of the largest storks on the planet. An average wingspan of 8.5 feet allows it to soar on the hot air thermals, rising from the plains with little effort. Its featherless head and neck are an ideal adaptation for hygiene, keeping it clean while feeding on carrion. Marabou feed on the carcasses of buffalo, zebra, and wildebeest, helping to cleanse the environment and prevent the spread of disease. They often arrive after the lions and wait patiently for the leftovers. They also actively hunt fish, frogs, and even small birds when the opportunity arises. From the sub-Saharan savannas to the swamps and riverbanks, they are a testament to nature's incredible adaptability. Beneath the call of the fish eagle, the majestic form of the Angolan giraffe glides silently by. They rise like living towers over the landscape. Their height ranges from 13 to 20 feet, with their necks alone measuring 6.5 to 8 feet long. Even at birth, a calf is already about 6.5 feet tall and can stand and run within an hour. To pump blood all the way to their brain, their heart must be incredibly powerful, weighing up to 24 pounds. Giraffes live in fluid groups of 5 to 20 individuals, a loose social structure that changes with the seasons and food availability. They prefer leaves, buds, and young branches, especially from acacia species. With a prehensile tongue up to 18 inches long, dark in color to prevent sunburn, they can navigate through sharp thorns without injury. Each day, an adult consumes about 75 pounds of vegetation, clearing the way for other species to reach the lower canopy. However, their story has not always been one of hope. In the late 20th century, as a consequence of prolonged civil wars and uncontrolled poaching, the Angolan giraffe population declined to an alarming level. It was estimated at the time that only a few thousand individuals remained, and they had vanished completely from many parts of their historic range. But then, an extraordinary effort changed their fate. Conservation organizations, working closely with governments like Namibia and Botswana, launched decisive action plans. Anti-poaching campaigns were intensified. Most importantly, reintroduction programs were implemented. And the results have surpassed all expectations. By 2024, the Angolan giraffe population had rebounded to some 20,200 individuals in the wild. This is a story of profound hope, born from reintroduction programs and tireless conservation efforts. Under the watchful eyes of the giants, herds of agile impala glide across the dew-kissed grass. Their reddish-brown coats glow against the grey-green landscape like the gentle yet vibrant pulse of dawn. In the males, the lyre-shaped horns are a striking feature. They can grow up to 3 feet long, elegantly curved and strong, weapons for the battles over mating rights. When they sense danger, they can accelerate to 50 miles per hour. Sometimes they leap up to 10 feet high and 30 feet forward in a single bound, an astonishing athletic display. The behavior known as pronking, where they jump on all 4 feet at once, is a message of survival, a warning to the herd, and a show of fitness to discourage a predator. The social life of the impala is organized by season. From April to June, the breeding season begins. Mature males establish territories and form harems. Territorial disputes become fierce, the clash of horns echoing across the plains. They can both graze like open plains, herbivores, and browse on leaves. This dietary flexibility is one of the secrets to their resilience during the harsh, dry season. The cycle of life we have just witnessed has been playing out for millions of years. A perfect balance, built on the harsh but fair laws of nature. From gentle giants like elephants and giraffes to the apex predators, every creature plays an irreplaceable role. And yet, this grand stage is facing greater challenges than ever before. Their existence no longer depends solely on speed or strength, but on the decisions we make. The success story of the Angolan giraffe is a hopeful testament that it is not too late. To protect this wild world is to protect our planet's most precious heritage, to preserve this epic of life for all the generations to come. Before dawn breaks over the dense woodlands of Kruger National Park, a toxic shadow stands motionless amidst the high canopy. A female leopard, the ultimate icon of mystery and fluid grace, is on the prowl. In the world of the leopard, trees are far more than mere resting places. They are watchtowers, fortresses, and launching pads for lightning-fast ambushes. Draped in the geometry of shadows, her rosettes break the very outlines of her being. She does not merely hide, she becomes the forest itself. Through eyes of liquid amber, she reads the silent language of the grass, waiting for a single heartbeat to falter. Beneath the foliage, a herd of impala drifts slowly into range. Every footfall is light, as if danger were absent from this hushed morning. She is tense, her muscles coiled and primed for action. The leopard drags her prize into the deep shade, then, with extraordinary strength, hauls it high into the canopy. There she will feed in seclusion, beyond the reach of hyenas and other opportunistic thieves. Solitude is no weakness. It is the very essence of the leopard's power. As heat blankets the grasslands of Kruger and the sun parches the earth, massive, dark forms begin to stir. These are neither lions nor elephants. These are Cape buffalo, horned titans that command caution from even the most seasoned predator. They move like a disciplined army in a tight, impenetrable formation. Each weighs nearly 2,000 pounds, their dark hides shimmering, horns curving like the iron helms of ancient warriors. They are no docile grazers, despite their appearance. Beneath that thick hide beats a heart that refuses to yield. They guard the collective as if life itself depends upon their unity. Calves huddle at the center, shielded by the herd. At the fringes, dominant bulls stand sentry, ready to charge into battle at a moment's notice. A lone lioness watches, mesmerized by the raw power radiating from those steel-like horns. She is fascinated by the raw strength of their spiraled, iron-hard weaponry. The lioness was badly wounded. It was a bitter lesson. Never confront the Cape buffalo alone. She is not the first predator to retreat before them, and she certainly will not be the last. The herd continues its journey as a mobile fortress, unglamorous and quiet, yet possessed of an unshakable resolve. As the sun begins to bake the Kalahari, a mob of meerkats emerges, standing tall like miniature sentinels. Tiny and nimble, they thrive in tight-knit clans, where every individual has a vital duty. They are renowned for their sophisticated system of vocal alarms. At the first warning from a sentinel, the entire mob abandons everything to vanish into the safety of the burrow. In a land of hawks and cobras, unity is the only way to survive. But not every alarm is genuine. Nearby, a fork-tailed drongo, a master of mimicry, watches. He imitates the meerkat's alarm, a perfect and calculated deception. He even varies his calls, imitating eagles or snakes, to ensure the meerkats never grow accustomed to his trickery. Sometimes they will imitate the sound of an eagle, other times the sound of a snake, a truly astonishing display of cunning. With one false cry, panic spreads. The meerkats abandon their hard-earned feast. Instead, they stand guard for the collective, even at the cost of their own hunger. Along the Atlantic coast, where brutal waves batter the South African shore, thrives a clamorous community, Cape Fur seals. Near Cape Town, upon moss-covered rocks, seals huddle together, their bodies shivering in the salt spray. Their collective roar, territorial bellows and calls echoes like a wild symphony of the southern seas. They were not born for combat, yet they are masters of survival. The Cape Fur seal possesses a waterproof coat and powerful flippers. Dominant bulls claim the rocks, guarding their harems. Pups are born into this chaos, with no sanctuary but their mother's side. Far from the Antarctic's flows, a strange story unfolds on the sun-drenched sands of South Africa. Among granite coves, African penguins have made a fateful trade, abandoning the frost for the searing sun. They are the only penguins on Earth to claim these temperate shores as their sanctuary. Standing less than 2 feet tall, they wear a tuxedo of black and white with a signature horseshoe marking. Survival in the heat relies not on feathers, but on pink glands. Above their eyes, a sophisticated cooling system. It regulates their temperature when the sun bakes the boulders throughout the year. In spring, shallow burrows witness one of the most enduring bonds in the natural world. Pairing for life, they return to the same refuge annually, nesting amidst the harsh wind and sand. Yet their greatest foe is not the heat, but a deadly silence from the ocean. But a shadow longer than night now falls upon these shores. A once vibrant chorus is fading into a haunting silence, as their lifeline to the ocean is severed by hands they cannot see. Million voices have been reduced to a fragile whisper, a final plea written in the sand before the tide washes it away. Today, upon these ancient stones, humanity is learning to step back, allowing nature to heal itself. Every tiny nest is a final fortress, a silent plea for survival beneath the African sun. Their struggle is no longer against nature, but for remembrance, before they vanish forever. Across boundless grasslands, the towering forms of African elephants move like living fortresses. Majestic and silent, they walk powered by muscles and the weight of ancestral memory. In a world where breath and death are intertwined, they are icons of wisdom and patience. Each herd is guided by a matriarch, holding a mental map of ancient springs and migration routes. Under her protection, the family traverses Kruger's woodlands to the Kalahari's scorched sands. Here, memory is the ultimate tool for survival, the only thread preventing their lineage from being swallowed. South Africa is a vibrant yet uncompromising tapestry of life. From the solitary leopard to the buffalo's wall of steel, all are caught in a cycle of tension that never truly ends. In this parched land, nature offers no mercy and knows no rules. Only those with an unyielding will and fierce instinct earn the right to see tomorrow's dawn. Yet, amidst this splendor, echoes of a crisis are beginning to ring out. Thinned colonies and the roar of the seals testify to a balance that is beginning to fracture. Habitats are vanishing, and giant footprints are slowly being erased by time. Nature does not need us to survive, but we cannot exist without it. In this epic struggle, certain creatures stand as enduring symbols of power. One of Africa's largest bovines, the Cape buffalo, is among the most dangerous creatures on the continent. He does not hunt, yet he strikes terror into those who dare to pursue him. Weighing up to 2,200 pounds, he is a mobile fortress of muscle and bone. His most striking feature is the set of horns that meet at the forehead to form a formidable shield. A natural boss capable of withstanding the full fury of an adult lion. Blending caution with aggression, the herd forms a living barricade, ready to counterattack. This is why hunters speak of him as the Black Death. Not because he hunts humans, but because he refuses to run, fighting to his very last breath. Dawn rises on the far horizon, staining the savannah with a layer of radiant light. Through the morning mist, A deep rumble emerges, a wordless challenge. From the silent herd, two mature bulls separate, locking gazes. This is not a battle of life and death. It is a struggle for status and dominion over territory and the chance to breed. To claim the title, there is only one path, an uncompromising test of strength. On the horizon, the low scrub stirs not from the wind, but the approach of a solitary giant. Each footfall resonates across the earth like a distant war drum. This is the southern white rhinoceros, the second largest land mammal on our planet. With a massive frame exceeding 4,400 pounds, he has no need for concealment. He fears no one. Upon his nose is a legendary weapon, a horn of solid keratin, which can exceed 3 feet in length. A creature of war. He prefers solitude, living by a rhythm as ancient as his million-year lineage. Yet even a giant must defend his domain. Despite his solitary nature, the rhino is vital to the savanna's health. His paths create natural corridors for other species to find water and food. By grazing on short grasses, he prevents scrubland from overwhelming the open plains. Even his waste nourishes the soil, fueling plant growth and sustaining insect life. Amidst the dust of the African basin, a towering silhouette emerges from the haze. Majestic and deliberate, the elephant herd moves as a single, unified entity. At the formation's heart, calves find safety in the immense shadows of their kin. They do not just rely on strength. Elephants hear the earth through their feet. Through the very soles of their feet, they hear the pulse of the earth. These silent giants possess a wisdom that transcends the air, sensing the distant thunder of a coming storm or the ghost echoes of a wandering herd carried through the ground like a deep, subterranean song. This is a display of intelligence and an unshakable matriarchal order. In this land, no predator is foolish enough to challenge a mature herd. At the distant roar of a lion, they instantly tighten their ranks into a circle of iron. £13,000 of muscle form an impregnable wall, shielding the young. Their coordination transforms the collective into the ultimate defensive machine. Their weapons are ivory swords in the largest individuals. Nearly 2 meters long, used both to explore the lifeblood beneath the barren soil and to deliver deadly blows. The skillful trunk, with its tens of thousands of muscle bundles, can gently soothe a cub after a long night of fear. But it is also powerful enough to bring down a lion in a single strike. Despite their deliberate pace, an angry giant can surge at 25 miles per hour. Their true power is not in destruction, but in their ability to shape the world. They are nature's engineers, creating waterholes and trails that sustain life. They rule through wisdom and empathy, forcing even the most arrogant lion pride to retreat. In the harsh Kalahari Desert, silence is absolute before the chase begins. For the cheetah, time is the greatest adversary. It has only 20 seconds at full speed before its body overreacts and forces a halt. But its prey, the oryx, is not easily subdued. Rather than fleeing in panic, it may turn to face its pursuer when cornered. A special brain cooling system allows it to remain clear-headed under duress. Horns, over 3.3 feet long, become sharp weapons, forcing any predator to be wary. Against such an opponent, even a cheetah's speed is not always enough. Even young lions pay a price when confronting an oryx. For them, it is not just a hunt, but a test of patience and experience. A single miscalculation can result in injury. Those sharp horns form a formidable defense, enough to repel inexperienced predators. But in time, they will learn to wait, to coordinate, and to choose the right moment. For one day, these novices will become true rulers. As the lion cubs survive their 5th month, their innate curiosity gives way to their first hunting lessons. This learning process is not mere imitation. It is the inheritance of survival strategies from the previous generation, especially from the lioness. Genetics and social behavior have shaped their future from the very first moments. Biological studies show that young lionesses often join the pride's hunts early, learning coordination and tactical skills. In contrast, young males focus more on developing physical strength and confrontational skills, often through scavenging. All are necessary preparations for the distinct roles and responsibilities they will assume as adults. As the cubs grow, their mother's training regimen becomes more demanding. No longer are the targets easy. The lioness begins to stage true rehearsals, where the line between life and death becomes blurred. In silence, The lioness observes and guides, demanding absolute focus and precise coordination from her offspring. Yet, the young are inherently impatient. A single moment of lost control by one fledgling member can ruin an entire, carefully calculated plan. Science has shown that this trial and error process is crucial for the cubs to learn the exact timing and method of attack. Failure in a wildebeest hunt is a painful lesson. It forces the young predators to recognize their limits and shift to more suitable targets. In the harshness of the natural world, difficult circumstances sometimes bring opportunity. A desperate foal, separated from the herd, might become the next objective. The prey's suffering is the predator's chance for survival, a cruel but necessary law of nature. On the savannah, death is not the end. It is a beginning, the life force that nourishes another being. The sun sets, and a new drama begins with a hunt that has no end. But even a prince must learn humility, especially when his opponent is a living legend. The African buffalo, nicknamed the Black Death. A ton of rippling muscle and horns fused into a solid shield, ready to crush any arrogance that dares to challenge it. The strength of these giants lies not in the individual, but in their unity. Protecting the herd is a sacred command. When their boundary is crossed, they do not flee. Instead, the entire herd masses together, forming a living wall, an impregnable fortress of muscle. The hunt is suddenly reversed. The hunter now becomes the hunted. The line between predator and prey is completely erased. And in this confrontation, no king accepts the shame of failure. Leaving the searing heat of the desert, we arrive at a different, yet no less dramatic setting. In the final days of Botswana's dry season, the dancers of destiny begin their performance once more. The plains zebra, with its unique black and white patterns, is an unmistakable symbol of Africa. Each individual bears a distinct set of stripes, like nature's own fingerprint, never to be repeated. But in this world, magnificent beauty can sometimes come with a harsh sentence. Hidden among the bushes, a pair of amber eyes watches with particular interest. To satisfy their hunger, predators must engage in this dance of chance every single day. The lioness prepares for this contest of wits with absolute silence. Beneath soft pads are sharp claws, which can be over 3 inches long. She knows her stamina allows for only a 330-foot burst of speed, so she does not rush. A single moment of inattention, and the golden blur shoots forward like an arrow. When the rains arrive, a paradise is woven from green pastures and the red traces of dominance. The majestic led stallion, weighing nearly 660 pounds, rules over his harem of 2 to 6 mares. To win this supreme position, bachelors must challenge the reigning ruler. This is a ruthless crucible, one that determines a true king. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the plains, the mares are fulfilling their own sacred mission. The foals we see here were, in fact, born only a few hours ago. But this happy scene is quickly shattered. A storm of fury descends without warning. When the throne is taken by force, the new ruler may carry a brutal, inherited instinct to kill the offspring of his predecessor. This behavior prompts the females, now freed from the burden of nursing, to return to estrus more quickly. But a zebra mother does not yield easily. A heroic symphony resounds. Maternal love confronts the harsh laws of evolution head-on. But not every mother's heart is strong enough to shield a fragile life from the cruelty of nature. Even so, there is no place for mourning on the savannah. With the arrival of the rains, a new journey begins. They need the mineral-rich grasslands that lie far away. An invisible map guides them along the routes of their ancestors. As the herd moves, thousands of stripes merge, creating a chaotic illusion. Life becomes a visual labyrinth that confounds predators. It is a living coat of armor. Much like the Mara River during the Great Migration from the Serengeti to the Masai Mara, the Boteti River in Botswana presents a true test for this army. While the striped herds travel thousands of miles, another, quieter journey begins in the darkness of the dens. Deep underground, a complex social order is at work. This is the world of the spotted hyena, a society dominated by females. An individual's position in the clan is determined by the lineage and strength of the matriarch. Unlike many other predators, hyena cubs are not born helpless or blind. They are born with their eyes wide open and a set of teeth ready for battle. And their first fight is, sometimes, with their own siblings. This rivalry is especially fierce between same-sex twins, beginning within hours of birth. The prize is not only precious mother's milk, but the establishment of a lifelong dominance. This is the first and most brutal lesson in status, in a society defined by power. The spotted hyena is one of the most brutal and effective predators on the African savannah. Its appearance may seem unusual, but its body is perfectly adapted for hunting. Low, powerful, weighing from 100 to over 176 pounds. Shoulders higher than its hips, a broad head, and above all, one of the most powerful jaws among carnivorous mammals. With a yellow coat spotted with dark patches and a muscular neck that helps it tear flesh, carry prey, and even confront other predators, the hyena is an efficient machine. The spotted hyena is an extremely intelligent omnivore. Its diet varies with the seasons and opportunities. They hunt in groups, attacking wildebeest, zebras, impalas, but also scavenge. A clan can be up to 80 individuals led by an alpha female, a rare phenomenon among mammals. This matriarchal structure is highly organized. When the rainy season ends, a great change occurs. Mother's milk gradually gives way to harsh lessons in survival. The true hunting instinct awakens. Their jaws are forged, preparing for the bone-crushing power to come. Defying old prejudices, spotted hyenas are active and efficient predators, with over 60% of their diet coming from their own hunts. They rely not on the speed of a cheetah, but on endurance and pack tactics to exhaust their prey. Confidence, and sometimes recklessness, has pushed them to an unthinkable challenge, confronting the giants of the savannah. Their target is not an adult elephant, but the faint hope of a calf separated from the herd. But it is a miscalculation. The elephant herd is not just a fortress. It is a living wall, commanded by sacred maternal bonds and the matriarch's experience. A few exploratory steps from the hyenas are immediately met with a warning that cannot be ignored. The confrontation ends before it has truly begun. This is not just a failed hunt. It is a costly lesson in the order of nature, about the boundaries of power that must never be crossed. Africa. The land of giants. But here, one species reigns supreme. The lion, the second largest cat on the planet, surpassed only by the tiger. A perfect fighting machine, weighing up to 496 pounds and reaching 10 feet in length. This colossal size, combined with a rippling muscular system, not only helps them dominate the grasslands, but also allows them to bring down prey many times their own weight. But their true weapon is sound. A roar that thunders like rolling thunder, audible from 5 miles away. A skill perfected by the time they are 1 year old, a defiant declaration of territory and a connection between pride members. In a stark departure from the solitude of other felines, lions have chosen a social life. A pride can have from 3 to 40 members, where related females raise the future generation together. Alone, a lioness has a success rate of less than 30%. But when they cooperate, they become an unstoppable force, bringing down colossal prey to ensure each member can consume up to 20 pounds of meat per day. Their appearance, too, is a story of adaptation. In the Serengeti, a thick mane is a measure of health and fighting prowess. But in the scorching heat of Kenya's Tsavo, these kings shed that crown, going maneless to survive the searing heat. Once dominant across continents, their kingdom is now shrinking. Habitat loss and poaching are pushing this species to the brink. Only 20,000 remain in Africa, and a mere 500 inches India. The king of beasts is facing its own greatest battle for survival. The symphony of life and death in the Serengeti is one of its most majestic spectacles. But Africa's story of resilience is also written elsewhere, in Zakuma National Park in southeastern Chad. The park lies in the Sudan-Sahel Transition Ecozone, a region representing the convergence of the Sahara's edge and the Central African rainforests. Zakuma was officially established in 1963, becoming the nation's first national park and one of the oldest nature reserves in Central Africa. Today, Zakuma is home to over 130 mammal species, including the Big Five after black rhinos were reintroduced in 2018. The bird life is also incredibly diverse, with 530 species. The Kordofan giraffe, the tallest land animal, faces a true challenge to survive the dry season. A critically endangered subspecies, fewer than 2,000 Kordofan giraffes remain in the wild. Over half of them live in the central region of Zakuma. According to 2024 data from the Giraffe Conservation Foundation, compared to other subspecies, the Kordofan giraffe is considerably smaller, with an average height of 15 to 18 feet. Its oral structure, with flexible lips and a tongue that can reach nearly 18 inches, allows it to easily browse on leaves from thorny branches. This is a remarkable biological advantage, reducing direct competition with other herbivores. Due to its long neck and specialized cardiovascular system, the blood pressure required to pump blood to the brain is twice that of a human. The act of bending down to drink during the dry season, when water sources are just small pools, carries the risk of a sudden drop in blood pressure and a serious loss of balance. A simple misstep at this moment could be perilous. To adapt, the Kordofan giraffe minimizes the time it keeps its head low and often moves in the early morning when temperatures are more tolerable. An even greater concern is its slow reproductive cycle and low birth rate. Each female gives birth to a single calf after a gestation period of up to 15 months. In contrast to many species in Zakuma that tend to hide from the daytime heat, the warthog remains active, especially during the hottest hours. It spends 60 to 70% of its day foraging. With curved tusks and a low-slung body, it can dig deep burrows for shelter at night. When green pastures are nearly gone, the warthog kneels to eat, a behavior that conserves energy and makes it easier to find roots. Although not particularly large, the warthog is not merely a passive defender. Adults can charge threats with their sharp tusks. When protecting their young, female warthogs may even proactively confront mid-sized predators. As the warthog retreats to its burrow after a day's activity, the king of the savannah appears. The West African lion. The arid savannah of Zakuma is not an easy place to live. But lions persist here, not because it is the best place, but because it is the best fit for their survival strategy. Lions in Zakuma are smaller than their eastern and southern African counterparts, with males averaging between 265 and 330 pounds. With a sparse mane and a leaner build, they possess greater agility and consume less energy, a vital advantage in a harsh environment. They hunt primarily at night and dawn, according to GPS tracking data installed in early 2025. Water holes are vital during the dry season, and thus they become strategic ambush points. In Zakuma, lion prides are often small, with just 3 to 6 individuals. The low prey density and the need to cover vast territories explain this structure. The lionesses are the center of the hunting activity, while the males are responsible for protecting the pride. In return, they have priority access to food. This is a rule that maintains order and security within the pride. Genetic analysis in 2024 by the European Institute of Conservation Biology revealed that Zakuma's lion possess an intermediate genetic profile. This demonstrates their essential role in connecting the remaining genetic corridors of the subspecies Panthera leo. With fewer than 1,000 mature individuals left in the wild, Zakuma National Park holds a vital position in the recovery and genetic diversity of the region. The African white-backed vulture. As the most common vulture in sub-Saharan Africa, they make up nearly 50% of all vultures in Chad. According to a 2024 biological survey in Zakuma, with a wingspan of up to 7.5 feet and extremely sharp vision, it can spot a carcass from a distance of 2.5 to 3 miles. When one individual spots an opportunity, it circles in a spiral above the site, a clear visual signal that attracts other vultures within minutes. During the dry season, when carcasses are more common, this species' role is amplified. They can clean a carcass in hours, eliminating pathogens such as anthrax. According to a 2025 report by African Parks, the presence of these vultures has reduced the risk of disease transmission from large animal carcasses by up to 85%. Antelopes belong to a diverse group within the Bovidae family, the same as cattle, goats, and sheep. One of their main characteristics is a body adapted for running and agility. They are herbivores, feeding on grasses, leaves, and in some cases, aquatic plants. Another trademark is their pair of permanent horns, unlike deer, which shed their antlers annually. Antelopes are also distinguished by their highly developed senses. Wide vision, acute hearing. This combination of attributes, motor skills, sensory abilities, and social strategies This humid paradise is home to an impressive diversity of species. Among the most numerous is the black lekwe, a subspecies of the lekwe antelope perfectly adapted. These antelopes live in large herds that can number in the hundreds, forming one of the most notable presences. The lechwe is easily recognizable by its golden brown coat with a lighter underside and dark hind legs. But most impressive is its adaptation to the flooded environment. Males possess long, lyre-shaped horns used in battles for dominance and territory. Amid the bustling life of the delta, there is a ghost, the Sitatunga. It has a water-repellent, oily coat and specialized hooves for walking on reeds. When in danger, it does not flee. It submerges, leaving only its nostrils exposed, and vanishes. Among the winding channels and mopane forests is one of the most elegant and numerous animals. With its soft caramel-colored coat, black markings on its hind legs, and ever-watchful eyes. They do not just see danger, they practically feel it. In a sudden leap, they can reach 10 feet in height and cover 33 feet in a single bound. During the mating season, males fight for territory with impressive displays of strength. The largest antelope, the eland, majestic and silent, is often seen wandering in small groups. Although not the most numerous, its imposing presence makes it unmistakable. Males can weigh between 1,760 and 2,200 pounds, with some exceeding that mark. Despite its enormous size, the eland is a surprisingly agile animal. It can jump over fences up to 6.5 feet high, and over short distances can reach considerable speeds. The greater kudu is slightly smaller than the eland, but equally striking in size and unique features. With majestic spiral horns that can measure over 3 feet along the curve, this antelope not only commands respect, an adult male can stand up to 5 feet 3 inches at the shoulder and weigh between 420 and 595 pounds. The total body length can reach an impressive 8 feet, not including the tail, which adds another 12 to 20 inches. On its back, vertical white stripes run like brushstrokes painted by some ancestral artist. Each marking seems to tell an ancient story of survival, wisdom, and silence. The kudu moves with a surprising lightness for such a robust animal. A symbol of strength and mystery, the greater kudu has been revered by various African cultures. Its presence inspires respect not only in its natural predators but also in people. The kudu is a master of camouflage and disappearance. It is this duality between its majestic presence and its absolute silence that makes it an almost mystical figure. Together, these antelopes not only enrich the visual landscape of the delta, but also sustain the food chain. The world operates under a relentless law. No mercy, no exceptions. Every step could be the last. Life is paid for with loss. And death nourishes the life that follows. Africa, under a searing heat, is a kingdom with no place for the weak. Trudging slowly through this fiery crucible are Tatu and Zuka. Exiled by their own father to obey the laws of natural selection, the two brothers have just entered a nomadic existence of life and death. Without the protection of their pride, their odds of survival are now a mere 1 in 10. The only thing anchoring them to the threshold of life is this bond of blood. But a gnawing hunger has pushed them beyond all endurance. Risking everything, Tatu targets a herd of impala sheltering in the distance. However, To hunt in the full glare of the sun with such a powerful build is an act of near suicide. Under the violent sun, the most vigilant eyes of the savannah have already locked onto them. And no eyes are more discerning than those of Africa's giant sentinels. The giraffe. With eyes the size of golf balls, perfectly positioned on either side of their skulls, they possess an almost perfect panoramic view. From a height of over 16 feet, towering over the plains, not a single blade of grass can stir without their notice. The old bull does not flee. He stands firm like a steadfast watchtower, puffing out his muscular chest. Though human ears cannot detect it, the giraffe is emitting infrasonic waves, deep vibrations that travel through the thick air. A startlingly perfect early warning system. In an instant, the impala herd vanishes into a hazy cloud of dust. Tatu's ambush has failed completely before it could even begin. Standing under the harsh sun, Tatu and Zuka have learned a bitter lesson of survival. The supreme muscular strength of a lion is rendered meaningless if they cannot bypass this living radar system of the savannah. As the midday heat nears its peak, a need more primal and urgent than hunger begins to stir. Water. In Africa, water is not just the source of life. It is the boundary that defines ultimate power. Tatu and Zuka, drained by the merciless sun, are forced to a murky wallow, bubbling and reeking of ammonia. But in this arid land, no drop of water is free. The hippopotamus. Though they possess a special skin that secretes a blood-red mucus as a natural sunblock, they must remain submerged to regulate their body temperature. And as the waterholes shrink, the territoriality of these tyrants of the swamp becomes brutally extreme. An enormous bull, weighing over 3 tons, suddenly surfaces from the turbid water. Its bite possesses a terrifying power, enough to snap a full-grown crocodile in half. For young lions like Tatu and Zuka, such a bite would be an irreversible death sentence. Yet, their ordeal for the day is far from over. The ground beneath them begins to tremble rhythmically, heralding the arrival of giant phantoms emerging from the red dust. A herd of African elephants. Leading them is a veteran matriarch, the holder of the wisdom and absolute authority of an entire family. Her extraordinary spatial memory is a priceless map of survival, guiding her herd to water from dozens of miles away. She flares her enormous ears in a threat display, lets out a deafening trumpet, and kicks up clouds of dust. Faced with a weight of over 4 tons and this unbreakable family bond, all resistance from the predators is futile. Tatu and Zuka must once again retreat, sullenly surrendering the quiet shade to these magnificent beings. In the bright light of day, they have come to understand a harsh truth of the savannah. Before the true giants of nature, even apex predators must learn to bow in deference. As the afternoon sun begins to dip, the oppressive heat continues to suffocate the savannah. Most creatures have settled into a state of rest, seeking scarce relief beneath the sparse acacia trees. But for Tatu and Zuka, gnawing hunger has driven them to the edge. Without the velvet cloak of darkness for cover, the magnificent coats and powerful frames of male lions suddenly become a critical weakness. However, these future kings are not armed merely with muscle and sharp teeth. They possess a superb spatial intelligence and a phenomenal ability to adapt to adversity. Instead of giving up, Tatu and Zuka decide to turn the cracked scars of the landscape into their ultimate weapon. They begin to stalk. Moving carefully against the wind, the two brothers use this invisible trench to silently close the distance. Their target, a languid herd of Cape buffalo. An incredible silent coordination unfolds. Zuka suddenly bursts forward, startling the herd and driving them in a panic toward the edge of a ravine. Instantly, Tatu makes his move. He latches onto an unlucky young buffalo that has stumbled and lost its footing. The perfect fusion of brute strength and sophisticated tactics has produced a spectacular daytime miracle.